Throughout the course of mankind, there have always been individuals who took drastic measures by any means necessary to obtain absolute power. When I say measures, I'm referring to genocide, which means the deliberate killing of a large group of people or those of a particular ethnic group or nation. Good afternoon. My name is Jalen Truitt, and I'm in hopes that you have a better awareness of historical events concerning genocide and why countries should intervene to prevent genocide from occurring again. In order to accomplish that, I would like to speak about a few individuals responsible for genocide within the last century. First, I would like to speak about Pol Pot. Yes, Pol Pot was his name, who became the head of the Cambodian government. Per BBC News, when he came to power in 1975, he quickly wanted to transform the country into an agrarian communist country. Now, agrarian pretty much means having to do with rural farming and agricultural way of life. In order to achieve this, he crushed social institutions such as banking and religion and emptied cities of their inhabitants. He abolished money, private property, and religion as well. Intellectuals and anyone else seen as standing in the way of the new social order were killed or placed in the field for forced labor. This transition claimed the lives of countless Cambodians. Pol Pot was ousted from power by the Vietnamese invasion in 1979, but he had already caused the deaths between 1.5 million and 2 million people. Then there's Adolf Hitler, who was the founder and the leader of the Nazi Party in Germany. He was the most influential voice in the organization, implementation, and execution of the Holocaust, the systematic extermination and ethnic cleansing of 6 million European Jews and millions of non-Aryans. Contrary to popular belief, Adolf Hitler is not responsible for the most deaths of mankind. That title would be given to Joseph Stalin. Now, Joseph Stalin, one of the most powerful and murderous dictators in history. He was the supreme ruler of the Soviet Union for a quarter of a century. Per BBC News, his regime of terror caused the death and suffering of tens of millions, but he also oversaw the war machine that played a key role in the defeat of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. What are the odds of that? Adolf Hitler, who also was responsible for millions of deaths, was defeated by another individual who is responsible for the deaths of more. Now, after becoming the dictator of the Soviet Union, his goals were quite the opposite of Cambodia's Pol Pot. Now remember, Pol Pot wanted to establish a communist agrarian community. Joseph Stalin wanted quite the opposite. He successfully shifted the focus from agriculture to rapid industrialization, which was a huge success in regards to the Soviet productivity and economic growth, but it came at a great cost. The different vision for Pol Pot, his vision was completely different from Pol Pot because he wanted to industrialize instead of keeping the agricultural way of life. But the fate was the same for the citizens in both categories as far as Pol Pot and Joseph Stalin. Many people died from starvation due to the shift of focus. In addition, the population suffered even more losses during the Great Terror of the 1930s, during which Stalin purged his party of enemies of the people, which resulted in the execution of thousands. It is said that Stalin was responsible for up to 40 million deaths. What does it take for a country to intervene? Intervene to stop the killings of hundreds or possibly thousands. With historical events that I just spoke about embedded in the history of mankind, what will it take for a country or countries to intervene? In current time, we see a familiar event occurring in Syria with the Syrian uprising. What makes this situation so significant is that the President al-Assad, deployed and authorized his soldiers to fire upon unarmed protesters. Per NPR as of today, Activists estimate 30,000 people have been killed so far, and it's in counting. So I ask again, what does it take for a country to intervene to prevent historical events like genocide from occurring again? Thank you.